Okay, today we will move to the human muscle cells, which if they are doing the lactic acid fermentation. If you still remember the equations of the lactic acid fermentation will be the glucose, it will be converted into lactic acid and the energy. And the energy will be 150 kilojoule. Okay, and we also learned before, beside the human muscle cell, the lactobacillus bacteria also will be doing the lactic acid fermentation, which it will be convert the milk sugar or the lactose into the lactic acid. The lactic acid form, it will turn the milk protein or the casein into the yogurt. So why that the yogurt will be taste sour? Okay, let's move to the human muscle cell. So for the human muscle cell, when it will doing the fermentations or anaerobic respirations. So when they are doing the vigorous training or vigorous activity. In the normal condition, they will doing aerobic respirations. So it will produce a large amount of energy for the cell. Okay, so during the vigorous training, the rate of oxygen use exceeds the oxygen supply by the blood circulations, means that when you are doing the exercise, vigorous exercise, your body need the oxygens and the glucose to doing the oxidations of glucose to produce the energy. When you are more exercise or more moving, you need to have more energy. So the need of the oxygens also increasing. Okay, but your body they only have limited the oxygen supply, so you need a lot but you supply a little bit or not enough. So these conditions they will lead to the oxygen debt. Oxygen debt we say is the oxygen demand more than the oxygen supply. Okay, and aerobic respirations 或者 fermentations of human muscle cell 只有在你做剧烈运动的时候会发生。OK， 为什么它会发生？就是因为你身体里面需要很多的 oxygen， 可是你只有 supply 特定的 oxygen 给它，所以身体里面不够 oxygen 的时候，它就开始转换变成 anaerobic respiration， 或者我们叫 lactic acid fermentation。所以这种情况我们叫 oxygen debt， 就是你身体里面不够 oxygen。debt 意思就是负债的意思嘛，所以负债 oxygen。然后你看这个 graph，look at this graph. Okay, this graph show you the lack of oxygen in the muscle cell and the oxygen debt repair. So we start from the first one here. Okay, we look at the graph. The y-axis will be the oxygen intake. X-axis will be the times. So it will the period they are started the exercise and finish the exercise, and also the times for recover. Can see here, this one will be the recover stage. Okay, when they are doing the exercise, you can see here in the normal condition when you are not doing the exercise, you still need certain level of oxygen intake. Okay, when you are started to doing the exercise, the oxygen intake it will be increasing. You can see it will increasing, and you can see this layer we say is oxygen debt because this layer is the oxygen requirements or the oxygen demand in the body. Your body need this much of the oxygen, but you only take this much of the oxygen. So this show you are lack of the oxygen, deficiency of oxygen. So we call these regions as a oxygen debt. Okay, so within these regions of the oxygen depth, your body will start to doing the anaerobic respiration because muscle they are keep contract relax, they need to using the energy, and the energy that are not enough for them, then it will convert into anaerobic respiration. Okay, or we call as lactic acid fermentations. So lactic acid fermentation, it will produce a lactic acid. Okay, high concentrations of lactic acid, it will lead to the muscle cramp or the muscle fatigue, means the tired of the muscle. Okay, so how we body will be use this lactic acid? Okay, so when it will use, okay, when you are finished the exercise, you are stop exercise, you are in the recovery stage. Okay, then at that time you will be breathe deeply, breathe more into the body, so more oxygen will be inhaled into the body. Then oxygen can use to oxidize the lactic acid into carbon dioxide, water, and the energy. Okay, so at this time, all the lactic acid will be oxidized, and the oxygen depth will be repaired. Oxygen depth repair means we use how many oxygens to oxidize the lactic acid. So you can see in this stage, they are breathe deeply. So more oxygen oxidize the lactic acid, so oxygen depth can be repaired. Repair means cancel off the deficiency of oxygen, so no more, not enough of oxygen. Then you can see later on it will move, it will become constant, same in the started, so they already become normal. Okay, this is the explanations of the oxygen depth, how the oxygen depth build up when the athlete running, and how it's settled after he stopped running. So means it's a recovered stage. So the early stage, when they are doing the vigorous activity, breathing rate will be increased because they want to supply more oxygen to the muscle for the contractions, because muscle need energy, contract, relax. Then the oxygen supply, they are not enough. So when they are not enough, oxygen that will be built up. Okay, then the muscle will be carry out the lactic acid fermentation. Okay, in the lactic acid fermentation means the glucose, they are incomplete to break down into lactic acid, and the limited energy will be 2 ATP or 150 kilojoule produced. Okay, high concentrations of lactic acid form, it will cause a muscle fatigue and the muscle cramp. Okay, so when you are doing more vigorous activity, more lactic acid will be produced, so your muscle will be more tired. Okay, after you are stopped doing the vigorous activity, after you are stopped, then you will breathe more rapidly and deeply because you want to inhale more oxygens used to oxidize the lactic acid in the liver. Lactic acid form in the muscle, it will be transport to the liver. So why the oxidations of lactic acid, they occur at the liver? Okay, then the lactic acid will be oxidized, become carbon dioxide, water, and the energy. Okay, some of the lactic acid that cannot oxidize, they will convert into the glycogen and keep in the muscle and the liver. Okay, so when all the lactic acid has been oxidized, we said that the oxygen depth is repaired. Okay, it's here got tell you that some of the lactic acid will convert back to the glucose and then convert to the glycogen and then glucose. Okay, oxygen depth pair or repair means is the amount of oxygen needed to oxidize and remove all the lactic acid from the muscle cell. Do you wonder why those runners after running they will wear the track suit back? Okay, and also some of them after running they will walk around slowly. Okay, this is because when they are running they will accumulate the lactic acid, right? So lactic acid, you breathe more deeply, so more oxygen can use to oxidize the lactic acid in the liver. Then also when you're wearing the tracksuit, it will maintain your body temperature, make sure that your blood circulation still is faster, so more lactic acid will be travel to the liver to oxidize. Okay, another that why after running you need to walk slowly, because when you are walking the muscle contract relax, the blood circulation still carry on. So the more the lactic acid can be transported to the liver to oxidize. So you won't be feel more tired. Another problems or the issues will be related to the sprint and the marathon runner. Sprint means they need to running faster in the certain times, and the marathon they need to slowly to run. Okay, so they come up a statement said that the sprinter that need the 7 liter of oxygen to remove the lactic acid in his muscle compared to those marathon or the long distance runner. Okay, why will be like this? Okay, because when the sprinter when they are start running, actually they will hold their breath. When hold the breath means that less oxygen will be transferred to the body, so the body will be faster to doing the anaerobic respiration or the lactic acid fermentation. So more lactic acid will be formed. So when more lactic acid means that they need to use more oxidize to oxidize the lactic acid. So why they have a statement said that they need 7 liter of oxygen to remove the lactic acid. If we compare to the marathon long distance runner, they are running, okay, so they are running slowly, they are breathe in the oxygen into the body, so the lactic their body still will doing the lactic acid fermentation, but they will be slowly, and also they have the oxygen to oxidize the lactic acid form. So at the early stage of the marathon, there will be less produce of the lactic acid. So why, as a conclusion, we said that for the long distance runner, there no need too much of the oxygen to uh, oxidize the lactic acid. Okay, they are long term, they're not in the short times, they need a lot of oxygen. But the sprinter, they need the more oxygens in the shorter times because they want to faster to remove the lactic acid. Okay, this is a experiment related to the yeast fermentations, or we say is a type of anaerobic respiration. You can see two set of the apparatus set at here, left hand side and the right hand side. Left hand side you can see there are boiling tube A, they have delivery tube, thermometer, they have lime water to test the presence of carbon dioxide. They have another boiling tube, they will fill with the 5% of boiled glucose. Boiled means they can remove the dissolved oxygens, and they will have a yeast suspension. Have glucose, have yeast. Then they have one layer of paraffin oil. Paraffin oil is to prevent the oxygen dissolve. So in these conditions will be no oxygen. Okay. Then the yeast can doing the fermentation. Then another set you can see they have boiled glucose. Okay, that means they don't have the dissolved oxygen. There's no oxygen dissolved in it because they have a paraffin oil as well, but there's no yeast. Okay, when no yeast means that they don't produce the ethanol, carbon dioxide, and the energy. Okay, so in this step, when with the yeast and the oxygen, no oxygen have yeast and glucose. So the yeast are doing fermentation. We learned before theoretical. Yeast fermentation, it will use glucose to produce the ethanol, carbon dioxide, and the energy. Okay, so they are using thermometer to test the presence of heat. Heat is a type of energy. Then lime water to test the presence of carbon dioxide. Okay, then later on we can sniff it, smell the alcohol. Okay. Okay, so for the set A, thermometer reading will be increasing because content heat. Lime water will turn cloudy because produce carbon dioxide. Then the smell of the ethanol will be produced. Okay, for the discussion, how is the anaerobic condition maintained to ensure the fermentation process is complete? Fermentation process, there must be no oxygens. So how to make sure there are no oxygen? Boil the glucose and also put a layer of paraffin oil, prevent dissolved oxygens. Okay, then second question, what is the functions of prepare boiling tube B as a control set? Okay, 3, what is the purpose of boiling the glucose? Just how we said is to remove the dissolved oxygen. How do the results show that fermentation has taken place in the boiling tube A? Because we see the temperature increase, means that they release the energy. Then we see the lime water turn cloudy, so means that they produce carbon dioxide. And we smell the solution, it have a smell of the alcohol, so means it's produce the ethanol. Okay, so this experiment, as a conclusion, we can say that is fermentation, it will produce ethanol, it will produce carbon dioxide and also energy. Okay, next subtopic will be the comparison between aerobic and fermentation. Okay, we look at the stability first. Okay, so both of them is a cellular respiration. It's a type of cellular respiration. They will break down glucose and convert into chemical energy. Either is completely breakdown or partially breakdown or incomplete breakdown. Okay, so both of them, they will begins in the cytoplasm. Okay, they can occur in the animal cell and plant cell as well. Okay, then it will produce a chemical energy in the form of ATP. Aerobic is a 38 and aerobic is a 2 ATP. So this process will be begin with the glycolysis when glucose is converted into pyruvate. Okay, comparison between aerobic and the fermentation for the difference. Okay, same things are when there are comparison, draw two columns table. Okay, then you need to compare in the same aspect. So aerobic and the fermentations. Then in the aspect of the oxygen present, aerobic need oxygen, fermentation no need oxygen. Okay, then another one is a place it occur. Aerobic occur at the cytoplasm and mitochondrion, but the fermentation only in the cytoplasm. Okay, then look at the presence of water. Aerobic produce water, fermentation no water produce. Okay, then we look at the oxidations. Aerobic, they will completely oxidize. The glucose will be completely oxidized into carbon dioxide and water. But for the fermentation, they have different way. When in the plant or in the yeast, it will be incomplete oxidized into ethanol and carbon dioxide. But when they are in the bacteria and the muscle cell, it will incomplete oxidize into lactic acid and carbon dioxide. And energy, a little bit of energy. Okay, then we look at the amount of energy produced. Aerobic, they will produce 38 ATP or 2898 kJ. Fermentations, it will produce 210 kJ energy or 2 ATP. In the alcoholic fermentation, in the lactic acid fermentation, it will produce 150 kJ of energy. Another difference will be the equations. So please remember the equations of those respirations. Aerobic respiration, you can see the equation here. The respiratory enzyme. Okay, and aerobic respiration in the muscle and in the yeast. So yeast at here you can write about ZMAS, ZYMASE. Okay, it will produce 210 kJ. And the aerobic respiration for the muscle produce a lactic acid. Remember the chemical equation here. Okay, and the 150 kJ energy.